The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Today, we're talking about the Jets X Factors for a successful 2024 season. Robbie Sabo, the co-founder of JetX, jetsxfactor.com, is going to join me to break that all down and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show, so let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jets fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button before we get started. And as always, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by Homage. Get the shirt I'm wearing, the JETS Jets shirt from Homage by using the link that I just threw in the live chat that is already in the description for this video. Check it out. Homage has something for every Jet fan out there. Check out their gear. It's vintage. It's current. You name it. They have it. They sent me a care package of a bunch of shirts, including the one I'm wearing right now. So check that out. The link is in the description, or I'll make it easy for all of you. Scan the QR code, and boom, it takes you to their page, and you can check out any of their Jet items. Use that link. Use the QR code, and this channel will receive credit. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs for supporting our brand new sponsor. Joining us right now is one of the all-time greats. He is the founder of jetsxfactor.com. He's got some of the best hair in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Sabo joins the show. What's up, Robbie?
Jake, you know how to put a headline together. X Factors with Jets X Factor. You brilliant man, you.
You know, I am a content creator, Robbie, and I thought, what can we talk about on July 2nd? Well, why don't we bring on the founder of Jets X Factor and do X Factors for the Jets in 2024? I mean, come on now. I'm a genius.
Few words to describe this genius of yours. And I got some thoughts around that. These X Factors. I think I'm going to I won't take the easy way out on most of them. One of them might be a little, questionable, but we'll see. We'll see what the Asmaniacs say on that.
So I have one rule with this. We can't say Aaron Rodgers' health because that goes without saying, right? No. So we're going to give you more than just surface level analysis on this show. Obviously, it goes without saying the biggest key for the Jets season is Aaron Rodgers being healthy. That's the X factor. We get that. We're going to remove that from the equation when we talk about this because that is beyond obvious. So I'll let you start it off, Robbie. Give me the X factor or one of your X factors for the Jets to have success this upcoming year.
Offense, it is. I mean, listen, Tyron Smith, as much as Jets fans are excited for him and as much as he changes the offense, and he really does, he's a stud, a downright stud. His presence is going to loom large, and there's a big difference with him on the field and off the field. And as much as he could qualify, it's AVT. To me, it's AVT because when you look at the splits with and without AVT, rushing the ball, throwing the ball, everything offensively they haven't had Aaron Rodgers. So without Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson back there, terrible quarterback production. When AVT's on the field, there's leadership on offense and there's structure and there's something there up front on the O-line. And I know, the first quarter of the season last year, Jets fans didn't love the O-line. No one did. But when you go back and look at it, it was night and day when AVT was there as opposed to not being there. They were an average group, I dare to say, with AVT out there. So I think AVT, his presence, and not just his presence, his just playing the way we know AVT can and how he played his rookie season and to start his sophomore season before the Denver injury, I think is the offensive X factor.
When you look at the Jets and the opportunity for them to be a damn good team, we know about Rodgers, but then I'm right there with you with the offensive line. Like we could talk about Tyron Smith, but the last 2 years we've seen it, Robbie. When AVT went down, that's when the Jets season started to go up in flames. We've seen this. Like there's a 2-year sample size of that happening.
Yeah, and he's a leader. This is the biggest factor of them all, I think. Yeah, I mean, he has talent. He sews that group together, but he's a leader, and they skated by without Rodgers and poor quarterback production, partly because, in large part, because AVT was the leader of that offense. And when you have a huddle and you know you're up against the wall, you're waiting for the quarterback to call the play. Guys are looking around and they're questioning each other. It matters who's in that huddle and who is the alpha and who's the leader of that group. And AVT is that guy.
AVT has proven to be one of the better offensive linemen in the league when he plays. You hope now that with him getting an opportunity to play his natural position at guard, they're not going to move him around. You hope with the fact that, you know, these last 2 years, they kind of have been fluky injuries. It's not like the guys had like chronic knee issues or hamstrings or something like that. You hope he could just stay healthy because I'm right there with you, man. You keep him upright, all of a sudden you get some decent luck with Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, like 3/5 of your O-line. You have really good players there. And I think Tippmann's on his way to being a damn good center in this league. So I saw a list from PFF that had the Jets offensive line ranked in the top 5. Like that in theory is how good this unit could be if they just get some decent injury luck.
Talent-wise, it's spot on. I mean, they could absolutely be that elite level offensive line that we used to see back in the day. And, you know, dare I say the Rex Ryan ground and pound years, and Jets fans are they'll never want to touch that because it's been so bad since then. But strictly speaking, talent-wise, yes, they could be that damn good. But AVT has to be there. And listen, if AVT comes up with another fluky injury and the rest of the line stays healthy, I'm not saying they're going to go up in smoke. They'll be solid. But as soon as he came in, he cemented himself as a leader of this organization. And if you're an offensive lineman that flies under the radar in a lot of ways, but many of the things that I've seen, others have seen, he is respected beyond belief. And I don't think there's another guy in that locker room who's as respected.
My X factor, kind of staying with the theme of what you're talking about with AVT, I want to talk about Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams, there's a lot of maybe like uncertainty with him because of the fact he's coming off the ACL injury, but he's on the Breece Hall timeline, which means they expect him to be out there for week 1. I mean, his injury, he suffered at the end of September. So, you know, barring a setback, Mike Williams should be ready to go week 1 against San Francisco. I want to see Mike Williams in this offense. I think he opens things up for Garrett Wilson. I think he opens things up for the Jets in the red zone. I think for the Jets to have an elite offense, which I think they're capable of having, you have Garrett, you have Breece, you have Rodgers coming back. I think Mike Williams solidifying the number 2 wide receiver role for this team is paramount for the Jets. Your thoughts on Mike Williams as an X factor for this team?
He's critical. And it's that big body, that red zone, that high point possession guy who's critical with or without Aaron Rodgers. I mean, with Rodgers, his ceiling goes up tenfold because Rodgers could place it exactly where you want to for a possession guy. In a lot of ways, he's going to be on the boundary for sure. But in a lot of ways, he takes the role of, a more slippery vertical threat tight end would in an offense. Now, they're different in terms of where they're lined up, but he's that type of body. And I don't know, when was the last time the Jets have had this type of receiver in their offense? It's been a long time. Corey Davis has, decent height, but he's not that guy. Perryman, no chance. I mean, they really haven't had this type of guy in a long, long time. So I think it's a spot on point. His presence alone is big because it'll help Garrett Wilson, it'll help Xavier Gibson, Corley, the tight ends, the rushing game. Yeah, he's going to be big, and Aaron Rodgers is the perfect quarterback for him.
Yesterday, Robbie, we set an Asmaniac record in one show in honor of listener Keith Best, who's dealing with a very serious form of cancer right now. We came up with the Keith Best emoji to honor him. We needed 150 members in order to add this emoji. So the Asmaniacs came through with 420 memberships, by far and away a new record, a single show. I want everyone to know who caught yesterday's second show. I spoke with Keith via email last night. He was blown away with the generosity and the support. So shout out to everyone who donated a membership yesterday, because Keith was truly moved, I was told, by everyone's well wishes and everything that went down on the second show. So shout out to Keith. And I say that to say Mark Fierro is getting us started on this show. The first to get the membership, baby. One full membership has been donated, and it went to Walter McIndoe. Walter is a great listener of the show. He is the listener who is paying for Bobby Midnight and his brother Mikey to go to the Jets-Texans game with all of us on Halloween. So, Mark, your membership went to an awesome Asmaniac in Walter, so I want you to know that. All right, let's keep going here with the conversation. Super Chats, we'll cut the line. If you donate a membership, we will acknowledge that as well. How about an X factor on the defensive side of the ball, Robbie? What are some things defensively, or some players, coaches, scheme, however you want to answer the question, do you address the X factors for the defensive side?
All right, so there were a few different ways I can go with this. One of the thoughts was Tony Adams. In a lot of ways, and I think I've mentioned it before in the show, in a lot of ways, his ceiling, and he's not there yet. I think he will get there. But his ceiling, how good he can be, because of the versatility, because he can play man v man. He used to be a cornerback, listed at free safety, but plays a lot of strong, because if you're going to be playing man as a safety, you're going to be up in the box. You're going to be lined up on the tight end, even lined up on the slot receiver at times. If there's, if it's 2x2, if they're spread, which puts Chuck Clark deep. So Adams, in a lot of ways, the defense is molded around the way Adams plays, his versatility. You could also go at edge. Jermaine Johnson he's got to be the guy. Reddick has to play, obviously. McDonald is a prime candidate. But at the end of the day, the thing I worry about most with this defense is the run D, particularly the interior run D. The way this scheme is it's a 4-3 gap attacking scheme, downhill, quick get off. It's high risk, high reward, lots of TFLs, but you can get gashed at times. We saw it 2 years ago. The Colts game in prime time comes to mind, where it was a clown show, the run D. So in that vein, it's Javon Kinlaw. It's the two tech guys opposite Quinnen Williams. And listen, when I say two tech in the 4-3 or one tech, they both play, they're interchangeable. Quinnen goes back and forth 3 to 2 to 1, but it's Kinlaw. It's the bigger bodies next to Quinnen. It's Kinlaw and Leaky. Those are the two X factors for me. I think they have to be stout. They have to prove that they could play in this scheme. Kinlaw can. Saleh's really familiar with them. Maybe a bit of an overpay. We'll see. They could look like geniuses or, bums on this decision. Leaky, questionable attributes in terms of fitting in this scheme, but they like some of the things they see in terms of quickness, in terms of get off. But these two guys have to really be stout in the run D, and I think it's Leaky and Kinlaw.
That was going to be mine as well. Just and also to give something different here to the defensive X factor conversation, Will McDonald, right? Will McDonald taking that step from part-time player in year one, and did show some potential to being a real starter on this defensive line. He's going to be expected to fill the JFN role. He's going to be expected to get after the quarterback. And we saw Jermaine do this from year one to year two. I don't know if it's fair to say McDonald needs to have a Jermaine Johnson like year two, because Jermaine ended up being a Pro Bowler. But I do see this scenario where McDonald goes out there and he does take a huge step forward. I think he's got the talent to do it. And I'm excited to see, what he could do now with a full offseason program as a professional.
Me too. And I think he will take a step forward on passing downs in the sub, nickel, dime, what have you. How often is he thrown into the fire in base packages is the question for me. Because you got Jermaine, Reddick. He's undersized too. He's a pin your ears back guy and go get the quarterback, but he's more of a veteran, used to play linebacker. He fills the nuances a bit better. McDonald in that base is interesting. And, going back to the 2 1 tech, the big guys with Kinlaw and Leaky, it's even more important because they got lighter on the D line. JFM played edge in base, and that's a 290-pound dude playing edge. They don't have that this year. It's lighter on edge, unless they throw Clemons out there, which and he's still not as nearly as big as JFM, but they're lighter on edge, so they're going to have to be more stout in the middle.
100% agree. And with Clemons, I don't know if he's an X factor, but he had a disappointing year too. If he can get back to what he was as a rookie, they might have something there. I won't go full X factor, but would be a nice boost if you got something from him in year 3.
Yeah, he takes a lot of heat, and I understand why. The Jets love him. Saleh loves him. Maybe he's overplayed a bit too much. There were a few straight weeks in a row last year where I wanted to punt him to Hoboken. I mean, jumping off sides on the punt team, you just can't do it. Can't do it to give the crunch time, fourth quarter no less. Give the other team an automatic first down. But in terms of realistically, objectively, in terms of a backup D lineman, you could do a lot worse than Clemons.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he's competing for a roster spot this summer, though, with some of the UDFA guys they brought in. I don't think he's a lock to be on the team.
I would agree. Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll be shocked if he doesn't make the team. Not shocked, surprised, somewhat surprised. But I do agree that the messaging should be, hey, you got to battle this summer. The messaging needs to be on point in that regard, that nothing is guaranteed. And I know that's the general atmosphere, but I think, if I'm Saleh and I'm trying to channel my inner Bill Parcells, I'm trying to nudge that messaging a little bit clearer to some guys. And I think Clemons is in that category.
I got asked this on a Jet Twitter space this morning. Shout out to Petey, shout out to Mark, shout out to June for having me on their Twitter space this morning. The idea that the Jets could keep either 6 or 7 wide receivers. And I think that's a real storyline to watch. Like, how do they view Herb Charles and his role on special teams filling in for Justin Hardy? How do they view carrying maybe 10 offensive linemen as opposed to 9 versus 6 receivers or 7 receivers? Like, I think the numbers game aspect, Clemons being a part of that numbers game conversation, is certainly one of the top storylines to watch this summer.
Yeah, agreed. And was it last year? Yeah, last year they surprised us and kept 7 wideouts. Was it 7 or 6? I forget.
I think they kept 7 because Hardy's technically a corner, but I think they ended up keeping 7, right?
Yeah, because Irv, Brownlee, and Xavier all made it. So I think it was 7. I think it was a shocker because, Brownlee and Xavier, 2 UDFAs making it was the shocker. And I think it was 7. So, the first 53 is always set to change. We know this. Everyone calls it the final 53, but it's really the first 53. It changes right away. And there's a lot of maneuverability. But they could easily keep 7 this year. And in a lot of ways, Herb Charles is going to be treated as a special teamer the way Hardy was. I mean, they weren't going to throw Hardy out at corner. I mean, unless it was, baseball emergency type, put a position player in there to pitch type situation. And Herb Charles is not at that level. You could put him in there at receiver in a pinch. But I think generally speaking, he'll be viewed as a special teamer, bumping that special team group up to 4 with Hennessy, Zerline, and Morstead as opposed to a receiver.
Thomas Hennessy, the most consistent player on the New York Jets.
Oh yeah. Hennessy. I mean, how about that name too? That's prime time.
He'll be slugging Henny at the Jet Super Bowl parade down the Canyon of Heroes.
Chris Berman would have had a field day with that name if he ever had a chance to call it out.
Speaking of great names, ladies and gentlemen, our guy Rat Diddy is back from his vacations. This guy's been away longer than anyone, a 2-month hiatus. He's in Miami. He's in Puerto Rico, but he's gifting 10 channel memberships, baby. Oh, yeah, Rat Diddy.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
All right, if you hear your name called, you thank Diddy. Not that Diddy. Rat Diddy. Here we go. Oof. Ranger Fan 11. Yikes. Terrible name. Robbie likes it, though.
Oh,
Joseph Webb. Ryan Rivera. Frank Yeager. Lane Gretzky. What a name. Lane Gretzky. You kidding me? Lane Train with an Edmonton Oilers jersey on. I could see it now. Alex. Will Collins. Ezil Daly. Just a Guy. H.L. Aristales. You guys are all officially channel members. Shout out to Rat Diddy for coming through for the people on this fine, very fine Tuesday morning. Robbie, here's another question I want to ask you in regards to X factors. We focused on guys on offense. We focused on guys on defense. Special teams wise, we mentioned Herb Charles. I think he's a name to watch. I think if Tariq Cohen somehow makes this team, he's a name to watch as a potential special teams X factor. When it comes to special teams, especially now with the new rules, give me a player or two that you think could be a big X factor in the success of that unit.
No, I mean, you got the, usual suspects, Irv. Who's going to be another receiver who plays special teams? I think is going to be big. Can Brownlee do it? I don't know. Maybe they just go with Eccles, Stiggers, and lean on the DBs. But you get the linebackers. Chaz Surratt is a mainstay. Zaire Barnes, Uguavian, if Uguavian makes the team. But in terms of just kind of two X factors, Boyer figuring out and being ahead of the curve in terms of the new kickoff rules. That's one. How does he play it? How does the league start to play it? I don't see them, the league as a whole, and Boyer starting with big guys out there. A lot of people think it's going to be more of an offensive play because of the distance and space is confined. But even still, it's 53 yards wide, and I just don't see a lot of big guys out there. I think that'll be a mistake, but we'll see. Maybe I could be wrong. But I think the true X factor is a simple one. It's Zuerlein. He's had a couple of good years here, and he's got to back it up again with another good year because, as much as I love Morstead in that story, Zuerlein getting those points is huge. It's critical.
Morstead has been incredible. Zuerlein has been incredible. It was so important for the Jets to bring back both. I almost assume they're going to continue to be great. Like, I have no reason to think otherwise,
I mean, it's a good position to be in after how many years of not having stable guys there. Who was the kicker? Douglas's first kicker in week 1. I think it was Gase's first game.
Wasn't it Vivek?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my God. Terrible.
Yeah, it would just, kicker after kicker. Oh, and they still have Seibert on the team too, interestingly. Zuerlein, he's up there in age. What is he, 35 now, 36? So, him remaining consistent is it's simple, it's easy. Some may call it a cop-out picking the kicker, but it's critical. He's got to be that guy still.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by Copper John's Beard Company. Folks, I use Copper John's beard products every day for the last year, whether it's their fine beard oil, the beard butter, the beard balm. I won't lie, I don't use the mustache wax because I don't have a mustache, but some of you do. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would love a Copper John's mustache wax product to be sent to him. So support Copper John's and use some of their awesome products. And I got a discount code for all of you who are watching the show live right now. Jake20 to get 20% off. If you're not watching live, the good news is that code still works. Just go to copperjohnsbeard.com. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs who over the last year have supported Copper John's. They are a family-owned business, not just family-owned, Jet fan-owned business as well. Tyson Alrad, the founder of the company, he's one of us. He's an Asmaniac, diehard Jet fan. So by supporting this sponsor, you're supporting your fellow Jet fan. Check it out. If you're a dude who's never used beard products before like I was, it will change your life. It will change your facial hair. People tell me my beard looks good. It smells good. That's because I've been using Copper John's products for the last year. CopperJohnsBeard.com. I'm telling you, try it. Jake20. Get 20% off. And once you start using the beard oil, once you start using the beard butter, the beard balm, you're going to be like, why wasn't I doing this sooner? It's summer. It gets hot. You sweat. The beard itches. You won't have that problem now thanks to Copper John. So check it out. CopperJohnsBeard.com. Once again, visit CopperJohnsBeard.com and use promo code Jake20 for 20% off on your purchase of any of their incredible beard products. We bring Robbie back on right now as we open up the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. A lot of people want in on the conversation. And up first today is V8 the Great. What's up, V8?
What's up, Jake? It's been a while. So I like to go back to what you guys were talking about with the D-line. I am a little nervous because, we did lose Quentin Jefferson. He was a really good asset for us last year. Do you guys think that, we may add on to it? Because to me personally, I feel like that is our X factor because if anything was a tad weak on our defense, it was the run game.
Well, I'll tell you what, V8, a year ago, did you know who Quentin Jefferson was? I think that was an example of the Jets finding a guy and turning him into a nice player. So I think they could do maybe the same thing with some of the guys they added this offseason, like Lotu Or I think you could see maybe Kinlaw develop into the player the Niners thought they were getting when they used the first round pick on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Jefferson, you're going to miss him more in the pass game situation. I think it's Al Woods. They're going to miss more, quite frankly, in the run game. So, yeah, it's a good point. That I think Douglas's radar is going to be up really, really high this summer in terms of IDLs that he could potentially pick up.
Yeah, let's just hope for it. I'm praying for a great season. Jake, love the show. Keep it up, man.
Hey, V8, appreciate you, man. Wouldn't that be nice, Robbie? A great season for the Jets. We're not even asking for the Super Bowl. I mean, some of us are. I get it, but like, how about just let's be a playoff team? Let's go on a run. Let's have exciting offensive performances. Like, let's have a fun year, man. Like, I'm not I'll worry about the playoffs when we get there. Like, I want to enjoy the ride and watch this team actually score points and reward how good this defense is. Reward how good we know Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall are on a national stage for people to see it.
Agreed. And that would be going full X Factor. As Tom Ace says in the comments, never go full X Factor. No, Tom, you got to go full X Factor for the Jets in the Super Bowl. And, diehard fans understand. When your heart is broken and you're losing your mind and you're sweating and you can't sit down, you'll sometimes rationalize and say, I'd rather have a bum ass team not get here than to go through this crap. I couldn't even enjoy myself. But then you're on the other side of the token where it's been 12, 13 years since they made the playoffs, and you gladly take that back. So Tom Ace, that is going full X Factor. The palms are sweaty and the rest of that M&M.
Arms are heavy.
The rest of that M&M.
There's vomit on your sweater already. Mom spaghetti. Is that what you're saying, Robbie?
A little bit, yeah.
Shout out to Terrence. He says, I'm on the road, so I won't be typing, but it's good to finally listen live. Shout out to the road warriors out there, all the people who drive for a living that tune into our show. Appreciate everyone out there for their incredible support. Chef Kevin says, it's another beautiful day. Let's make the most of it. Shout out to our guy, Chef Kevin, the executive chef of the Cloverleaf Tavern. David writes in Jets 11 personnel, on which side do you line up the slot receiver? Wide receiver Wilson, wide receiver Williams side? What are the pros and cons of each? This is a real hardcore football question here from David. So, Robbie, you're the hardcore football guy. You answer it.
It depends. It depends on the situation. Football, film review, looking at, coaching and scheme, it all depends on the situation. Every play is unique. No two plays are the same. And again, situation based. And what's the situation? 1st and 10. What are you looking to do? Are you looking to establish the run? Are you looking to get out ahead of a defense that may be playing a little aggressive?
If you're blocking because you're running, I think you put Corley in the slot, right?
Probably, yeah. So if you're trying to establish the run, then go with the better run blocker in the slot. Put Garrett Wilson out wide, even solo. You can go 3-by-1, little wide trips, and have a 3-by-1 with the tight end. Stack the strong side to the field side and have more space, and then you could play on the other. There's so many different situations, so it's an impossible scenario to answer. But to Jake's point, that's a great point. It depends on what you're trying to do. And Corley, I think Corley's going to be a tremendous run blocker. And if that's the case, if a defense is being over aggressive, go 3-by-1. Put Garrett in the slot to the right, Mike Williams on the sideline, Conklin in line, Corley solo to the weak side, and then run a counter weak. Get the guard and tackle coming, kick out, leading, and then have Corley in the mix. And if it's single high, you only have to deal with one high safety, and maybe Breece could break one. So it's all situation dependent.
I can't wait for when they try and stack the box against the Jets and Rodgers checks out of it so easily and checks it down to Garrett Wilson, who's free for 15 plus yards, as we saw in the preseason drives last year.
That's it, man. It's a pre-snap league. Football's always been a pre-snap game. It's just that only in the modern times have they kind of realized it. When the passing has really gotten going and offense, it's simple. It's confusing and simple at the same time. It's confusing with the technicalities, but it's simple in that you throw it where they're not. You take what the defense gives you. If they start too high, Bills are great. Bills are great at disguising defensive coverages. And I don't know how they're going to look this year with all the losses they've had, but Rodgers, Brady, these elite guys don't get fooled. They don't get fooled. And If you want to get reminded, just watch the 2 series of Rodgers last year against the Giants. First play, he read the D, solo high, did something to check with me quick, boom, quick smoke screen to Garrett Wilson, give him a shot to win one-on-one, and I think he won one-on-one because it was off coverage, and he got the first down. That whole drive is Rodgers at the line doing his thing.
Couple super chats, and then we go right back to the calls. Mark writes in, finally had to turn on the computer to get the membership. Shout out to you, Mark. Appreciate you getting that membership earlier on in the program. Our guy, NY Flight Jets Talk. This is Connor Long, who's now a member of the Jets X Factor writing team. Morning, Robbie. Do you think it's Izzy or Cohen who lands RB4? Also, do you have Corley ahead of Lazard? Our Rangers can't get rid of Trouba.
Oh, Trouba's still with the team. I can't believe it. Hartenstein, Jake, how do you feel about that, by the way?
It's disappointing, but can you really blame him for taking $29 million a year when the Knicks can only offer 18? Like once the Kachunga offer was there, it's like, what are you going to do?
Nah, I think the best case scenario, I won't forget about you, Connor. I know you went full X Factor, but the best case scenario would have been, I think, trading Randall and Mitch, getting key pieces back, and then re-signing OG and Hartenstein. Hard to do, but I think that was the best case scenario. Just couldn't pull it off. If they were trying, I don't even know if they were trying, but yeah, you can't blame Hartenstein. I saw Josh Hart with that tweet. Some people thought he was being serious when he said, "You're dead to me" or whatever. Of course, he was joking. He was being sarcastic and dry. It's a tough loss. I'd rather have Hartenstein than Mitch any day. Now, what was Connor asking again?
He wants to know, Izzy or Tariq Cohen for RB4?
Oh, man. Right now, I think it's Cohen, unfortunately. And, I mean, that's a position where you can't carry 5. There's no doubt about it. Even if you don't carry a fullback, there's no way you're going to carry 5. So, first thing is first, let's see if any injuries happen this summer at running back. They tend to happen. And with the short-term IR spots, it would kind of be a blessing in disguise if someone went down, not named Brees, Braylon Allen, even Isaiah Davis, but you get the point. Right now, go Cohen, but it's a long summer. We'll see.
Tariq Cohen, will he make the team? I mean, talk about a comeback story right there. King Lowski, he checks in. He's been an Asmaniac for 10 whole months. Let's go, Lowski. Sabo, do you expect Braylon Allen to be a dual threat this year, or is this the year of Brees heavy? Does he get a Henry type of work?
No, I think Braylon Allen would be in the mix a lot. Isaiah Davis, too. I think all 3 of them are going to see the field. And if all goes according to plan, call me crazy with Cohen, I think Cohen will even have some packages like Corley early in the year where it's a pass-only situation. And he's used in a certain way. You know, you're trying to expose a linebacker v running back situation, so you throw him out on a wheel where they're playing really aggressive and cutting down hard on the flat downhill. So if all goes according to plan, I think it'll be those 4 backs, and everyone's going to get some love. I mean, Brees obviously is going to be the workhorse, but Allen will definitely see his touches.
I'll tell you what I'm excited for, and we alluded to this earlier. Brees Hall should not see a box like this once the entire season. I mean, if he sees this, Rodgers checks out of it, the ball's going to Mike Williams or it's going to Garrett Wilson, and you will not see Brees have to deal with 8 or 9 guys in the box like he did in so many of his carries last year. This is just a montage that Blewett sent me last week so I can show on the show because I've been playing the first play of the game against the Cowboys a lot, and here's so many other of the same exact thing. The team's just having zero respect for the Jet quarterback, no matter who it was, and Brees having nowhere to go.
The second to last one was a DB blitz. I mean, they're just coming off the edge in every single scenario. It's downright disrespectful the way defenses have played the Jets offense the last 2 years. Downright dirty disrespect. 3 years, I should say. No, wait. How long has Zach been here? 2 years or 3 years? 3.
Too many years.
Yeah, 3 years. It's been egregious. And I think to a certain point, they're banking on their offensive identity to be a rushing team. That's what Saleh loves. Establishing that early opens up possibilities for Rodgers later in the season. And they have the horses to do it. And they draft with that intent. They drafted with that intent with Allen and Davis. They did everything else with that intent with the O-line. So I think there's going to be issues where they force feed it and they try to impose their will against heavier boxes, but it'll be nothing compared to what we're seeing on the screen.
I mean, it's just out of control, like the just lack of just complete disrespect, and the Jets can never do anything about it because they didn't have a quarterback who could process and get the ball out fast.
Yeah, couldn't process, didn't have the confidence. See, in the NFL, when you're one-on-one on the sideline with a good weapon, I'll say a good weapon, that's a license to steal. That's a license to let him do his thing, let him cook, as the kids say, get the hips turned around and throw the ball in a way that understands the coverage leverage and knowing that the solo safety will be nowhere near the ball. It's a license to take chances, and they never did it. And you got to have a quarterback who is willing to take those chances and not be afraid to fail. And that was the biggest issue, I think, in the Zach Wilson era.
Hit the like button if you're tuned in live right now. We have 185 people watching live, only 107 likes. So the math is not mathing. It's free to like the video, and it helps the channel continue to grow. We'll take more of your calls coming up. We have added 11 new channel members today. We are currently working on our 37th emoji. We need 148 more members to do so. We're working on the big fella emoji for our 36th emoji, and we added the Keith Strong emoji yesterday. Shout out to everyone once again who donated to make that possible. Keith saw the show, sent me a nice note that he was moved by it. So really appreciate everyone for their support. More of your calls right now. Ricky NY is up next. Ricky, what do you got for us?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I heard, Robbie, you touched on the fact that the Bills have had some losses. It's had some losses too along their O-line and Christian Wilkins, but they've got a few more losses coming their way, courtesy of us this year. I like the way that you guys touched on all three phases with the X factors. Fotu, I think, will be a good one for us. I actually think Isaiah Davis will be an X factor for us when it comes to special teams, because these kickoffs are going to look different. And I think there could be a role for him there. Yeah.
It's the Ricky Wi-Fi. We got his main point. Your thoughts on Isaiah Davis as an option on special teams and a bigger role in the offense?
Offense. I think they'll be comfortable with it. And I think he'll get some touches and some rotation. He'll get a small percentage of the rotation, but it's very hard. It's very hard to work in that third back to a considerable degree, unless one of the top two guys are injured. So he will be in there. He'll get a drive here and there, but that's about it if Allen and Brees are healthy. But it's a good point by Ricky on the kick return. Xavier might not be the kick returner because it's going to be much more of an offensive play. So maybe you want more of a bruiser there, one cut guy to get downhill. And Isaiah Davis could be a prime candidate.
I'm reading all the comments. Ricky, great hat, terrible Wi-Fi. Curly, we have choppy internet. Dave, poor Ricky with terrible Wi-Fi. Rat Diddy, Ricky NY's internet still the same, I see. Damn, that Wi-Fi from Boomtown. Pat
Where's
Rich.
Ricky? Where's Ricky? Where is his home base?
He's in Florida. He's in Tampa.
Okay.
This one is from the aforementioned Rat Diddy, who says, Robbie, what are your thoughts on who backs up AVT and Joe Tippmann on the 53?
Schweitzer.
Right.
Schweitzer's the guy. And similar to having the antennas up for an IDL, I think interior offensive lineman, Jake's mentioned it a ton. They probably need another body there as well. So could it be Glazer? I don't know. But yeah, I think Schweitzer's the main guy for all three positions right now.
Yep, I'm with you there. All right, more of your calls. Kyle Clifton's up next. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Kyle.
So as far as Clemons goes, the UDFA that's going to challenge him is probably Eric Watts, based on the size and the function, right? Is that what we're probably looking at if
I
they're
think
looking
so.
for one roster spot?
I think so, and I think Watts more in base, and maybe McGregor more in some package roles. But
Okay,
we'll see. We'll see.
I was thinking about Mike Williams as the next factor. I was thinking about the safety room as the next factor, whether Clark can get back to what he was, whether Tony Adams can take the step. But I really think that the X factor on this team is Saleh, because you don't know what he's like, playing with a lead. You don't know if he's, I haven't been really thrilled with some of his in-game stuff. We know that he's a good coach. We don't know yet if he's a good head coach. If he can prove that to us, and the roster is what we think it is based on what everyone's saying about Joe D's, gathering of talent, I think we should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, this game, coaching matters more in this game than any other game in history. Yep. And, I think Saleh has a lot of great attributes, in terms of team building, culture and relationships and that sort of stuff. But the strategy, yes, there's no way anyone could argue with that. The strategy, the game planning, the willingness to be more chameleon-like as opposed to, old school, this is who we are identity. That's how far can he go down that hole?
1,000%. He definitely has his pluses, even if he isn't my favorite. I appreciate the time, guys.
Yeah.
Kyle, excellent call out of you. It's a big year for Saleh. I mean, He's got the roster. He's got a legit quarterback, legit backup quarterback. They've won 7 the last 2 years without a good quarterback. The expectation is playoffs, bare minimum. And really, I don't think 9-8 and losing in the wild card round is enough. Like this to me is a year where, for him to definitely stamp himself back as the coach for 25, I think they got to win a playoff game.
Yeah, he's fortunate in this regard that Rodgers is going to, and I agree with you, Jake, but he's fortunate in this regard that Rodgers is going to force him to be more chameleon-like on offense just by default, because I've posed the question, what was the Packers' offensive identity with Rodgers? They don't have one because elite quarterbacks take what the D gives them. Defensively, I think a lot of the run D issues come from scheme as opposed to personnel at times. And they just have to be more aware of the situation. If the offense is trying to muck it up and misdirection it up with misdirections, counters, traps, draws, whatever, screens against that attacking aggressive D, you have to be more attuned to the situation. I think that's going to be the big, big, big thing this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is a guy who will give us a world history lesson.
It's time for Vman to talk about Puerto Rico and his Puerto Rican roots.
Hello, Vman.
Oh, hey, Jake. What's up? How you doing? Hi, Robbie. How you doing?
What's up, Vman?
I'm doing good. Just waiting finally for training camp about to begin. I agree with the last take. I agree with the caller's last take. Coach is the X factors. The thing is, the key is, can he adjust faster? That's going to be the big key because we've always praised him for the second half adjustments, but it can't be second half adjustments. First game, you got to adjust much faster. You got to
game plan.
Get to it. Yeah, you got to just be able to get to it faster. Like when something's not working, don't just stick to it because that's the plan. You got to be adaptable. You know what they say? No plan survives first contact with the enemy.
They also say everyone's got a plan until they get hit in the face. I believe Mike Tyson said that.
Yes, and it's game plan. Yeah, I think you're right, V-Man. And that's the thing, what I just alluded to. Saleh's a big identity guy. And identity worked in the 70s and 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Not in this era. I mean, yes, teams have their identity, but you have to be flexible. And it's a chess match. Coaching and strategy has gone through the roof in this new era of football. And Jets starting slow means they didn't game plan correctly. And then they adjusted well in game. So I think game plan is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. And the player that probably like the biggest X factor, the biggest key for me, X factor wise, for this season, obviously, this is probably just a very obvious take because it'd be the O line because without them, this whole season goes back down the crapper very quickly.
And a thing or two about the crapper.
I just like went right through my head just as I said that.
Yeah.
Come on.
V-Man.
You know, I was going to let that one slide, V-Man.
The V-Man
No, I
stepping
know,
on
I know,
rakes.
I know that. Yeah, no. Well,
Are you confirmed for the home opener, V-Man? People have been asking me.
Yeah, no, I just still need to get my ride. Was that guy? What was the caller? What was the what was the guy in the comments? Curly was.
Curly, I connected you guys via email.
Oh, you did? I didn't. I gotta check my email. I've been busy, you know.
It was
I
like
gotta
a
get
month
my.
ago. You haven't checked your email in a month?
Yeah, I don't. I actually don't really check my email that very often. I generally don't check my email that very often.
V-Man, you going gray? You going gray up there?
I've been gray since I was 8.
Well, stay strong, brother. Don't diet. Stay strong.
No, it's not. It's just genetics. My family has faulty genetics that makes our hair go gray. Like
faulty genetics. Yeah, hey, I understand faulty genetics, but stay strong. I will seriously get upset.
I got busy. I gotta go get my Quattro fretted.
Your what?
It's a Puerto Rican It's a Puerto Rican instrument. I gotta get in. You know the guitars inlays that help the players like remember what the frets are. Little dots, little like pearl dots.
Yeah.
Well, the Quattro I bought didn't have those, so I'm going to a guitar shop to have them put dots in it because I can never remember what. Because it's just too difficult to remember what the frets are without it.
Well, V-Man, I wish you the best of luck.
You said sure, like you really knew what he was talking about there.
I had no idea what V-Man's talking about for 75% of his calls.
Yeah, that's 75. I think maybe 70.
So I wasn't that far off.
You just said that.
Right, peace.
V-Man, farewell.
That's the end of this V-Man call. Time for him to get back to pooping.
Unreal. That's V-Man in a nutshell. I sent him an email connecting him with a fellow listener that lives in his area that offered him a ride down to MetLife for the home opener, and V-Man hasn't even opened the email yet.
We're going to see him hitchhiking.
Just peak V-Man right there. We'll get to more of your super chats. Delusional Jet Fan, I see your super chat. I will get to it next, but a legend has called in for the first time since we dropped one of the great emojis in the history of all emojis. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is the legend himself, Keith Best. What's up, Keith?
I don't know about a legend, Robbie and Jake, but I want to commend you on what happened here yesterday. And I know we were talking about Life 101. Chef Kevin was awesome in his talk yesterday. I couldn't get on in the afternoon. We have internet problems down here in West Palm Beach too. I'm sitting right next to the router, so I get a signal. And but anyway, how you raised 420 memberships was spectacular. I didn't think that could be done. And you putting up the Ajmo and I forget who made that for you. The teacher from Long Island, Snowball. And then you got King of Dreams that got the ticket for me. I'm so appreciative of all that. And you know, I sat back and I had two friends over, and I played that whole show that you had in the afternoon last night. And I appreciate all the kind words everybody said, all the chats. You know, I did this new treatment this morning. It did fine. I have no side effects. I'm grateful for that. But I'm just happy that I'm able to sign on here. But yesterday was mind-blowing in my book. I've been coming on here for about 5 months. I've never seen you raise 420 memberships in like 6 hours, you know, a couple of hours to get the Ajmo up as you did it during the show. I was just so grateful for all that. You know, it's absolutely amazing. You're the best at doing this stuff. And, you know, and you got great commentators on. Robbie, you know, you had, I didn't believe I was sitting up with Matt O'Leary on a 3-way screen yesterday. That was, you know, really. And, you know, I have to cut out of here again. You know, I have to go back in for a little bit, but it is what it is. And there was you know what it was? Yesterday you said everybody in our lives is affected by the cancer. And everybody, that's how you got that membership, because everybody brought somebody up to mind that's in their family. Chef Kevin last night was immense about talking about his wife. You know, he keeps it personal. I understand that. But at some point, you're either going to blow up or you're going to keep moving forward. And part of moving forward is for me to sign on here. I was surprised you were on at 9:30 this morning. I forget when you do your show with Robbie in the morning, because I was looking to sign on at 10:30. I would have been done upstairs, and then I can come down to the lounge and just relax. But that was amazing. I'm going to say it one more time. That was absolutely amazing yesterday. How
Keith,
do you?
We got the best listeners, man. Thank them. It was all them, man. I was just, I simply said, hey, we have the emoji ready. We talked about it after your call on the first show yesterday, and I said, as soon as we get 150 members, we will add this. And we got 150 members in like 10 minutes and got 420 total. So that was incredible.
I showed 25 people in the reception area at the hospital this morning, the Jets logo thing and all that, the Edgemo, and they were like, "Wow, how can I do that?"
your name is your last name is perfect for that logo.
Yeah, I know, best.
It's just, it's perfect.
And I know the Tampa. I was talking to somebody in Tampa this morning, Robbie, and their internet's all screwed up too, and it is here too.
I mean, my cell phone, Florida, huh?
Yeah, a lot in Florida. Yeah. My internet signal on my cell. I tried to sign on with both my two cell phones, and forget about it. It didn't work. I tried to sign on this, and then it went out, so I had to keep signing back on. But I'm on now. I'm sitting in front of. I'm sitting in one of the lounge areas, and I'm right on top of the router. So that way I got like a 5-star. But I'm just very grateful that I'm able to come on here. Jake gives me the opportunity to talk a little bit. You guys are the analyst. I'm just a fan. But I got a passion.
Don't worry.
But you said it yesterday. I have a passion for this. And maybe I have the gift of gab with that passion. And what happened yesterday, and I got, the comments, insane. And just watching that show yesterday, I watched it last night. But I watched it and I was like, man, this is absolutely incredible. You're going nuts, like yay.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was unbelievable, Keith. It was so cool to see everyone.
No, it really was unbelievable. 420 when you usually get what, 60, 80, or 100 maybe.
Not even. And I mean, we have 11 so far. Shout out to Devin, who just gifted a channel membership that went to Phobia, as you're on the line right here. So that was historic, man. And what's great is we'll be able to get your ticket covered now. I'm going to take some of the proceeds from that. We got the emoji set up for you, Keith. So I can't wait to meet you in December. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I asked my doctor this morning, am I allowed to travel on a plane to New York yet? He says, not until you're done with this, and then we'll talk about it. And that means no. When he says we'll talk about it later, I'm talking about 2 months or 3 months down the line. That means no. That's how he says no. So
he's like, we'll talk about it later. Here's a lollipop.
Yeah, you have to get cleared. I was just like Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't get on a plane when he first had the ACL. And I'm in the same boat. But it's okay. It's beautiful here in South Florida. And, I didn't comment on this yesterday. I got so many good friends that are Miami Dolphins fans. And I got trash talk this morning on a couple of phone calls because I sent them the link to say, hey, look at this show. Look at what we said about the Jets yesterday. And they don't care. My friend Frank Geary, who's an attorney here in West Palm Beach, he's a big Dolphins fan. And he was like, but I also got, he's like, bah. But I have a couple of friends that are signing on to your podcast today and tomorrow, and they're going to join up from here in West Palm. So they really liked what we played yesterday, what we recorded and played yesterday, and that's all I could do. I could tell you my experience. I talk from my heart. I got a huge passion for all you guys. I thank everybody for your comments. King of Dreams. Everybody, just everybody. So anyway, I don't want to take away from Robbie's live show, but
no, dude, keep going. You're doing good.
Keith, you're the man. Thank you so much for supporting this show. I'm glad that this show could give you an escape or give you something to take your mind off everything you're going through. It means a lot. So I'm glad that we were able to get you your own emoji. And every time you call in, I mean, I'm seeing it right now. People using the best strong emoji to support you, which is awesome.
Let me ask you. I'm going to say one more thing. So last night, I sent the link over to my goddad, who's 88 years old, not a sports fan, He couldn't care about who won football, baseball. Well, baseball he likes. But I said, isn't this cool, Charlie? That's my goddad. I said, he's 88 years old. And I said, isn't this really cool? And I said, do you see how quick that happened? 6 hours later, we got an emoji. We got it up on the screen. And you're playing your YouTube account while you're transmitting on the show to get it up there. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things. A lot of people.
I'm extremely grateful for all of these people that are on here. And this is the greatest community. I've been going to Jets games since I'm a little boy. And there's no greater hype than walking into Shea or MetLife or, what have you. And I just miss it. So anyway, that's enough out of me. I got to go back upstairs, but it's great to be here. Thank you for calling on me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, Keith. Best of luck. All right, keep us posted. You're an inspiration for so many
I'll
people.
try to get on this afternoon. I had taken a nap yesterday. I was beat up. Yeah. These medicines beat you up.
I love it. I love it, Keith. Stay strong, man. We love your passion, love your energy. I mean, what a legend. What a legend. Thanks again to everyone for yesterday. I told you I got a note from Keith last night that he was moved by yesterday's show. So to everyone who donated a membership, know it meant a lot to Keith. God bless.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right, where a lot of people aren't in it and they can't understand. He was just talking about his goddad. They can't understand the loving something so unconditionally and not having any control whatsoever. But I think Keith nailed it. I think it's community, and that's what is not expressed. That's what's not used enough to explain it, and I think that's what should be used.
Our guy Tim, this is our guy Tim from Fishland. He's down in South Florida. Tell Keith I'm around for a Jet game. I love it, Tim. I love it. We'll all get together for that game. All right, couple super chats, then we'll get to one last call with Robbie here before we say goodbye. Delusional Jet fan, as promised, he checks in. He says, question for Robbie. As someone who's coached before, do you think the penalties are on the coach or more on the players making mental errors? Love the show, Jake. Jet. Robbie, your thoughts?
It's on the entire team, but it's more on the coach. The buck stops with him, and he sets the tone. So it's on Saleh. Mental errors are on Saleh.
I agree. It's weird because 2 years ago they were in the bottom 5 in penalties, and last year they lead the NFL in penalties. So
yeah, they were up there.
It's weird. I mean, look, no excuse. Get it corrected this year, because if they lose a big game because of penalties, that could be something at the end of the year we say he's not the right guy for the job.
By the way, where are the emojis? Where do I see these emojis?
You got to be a channel member to access them.
Oh,
and then you go to the chat, and then you hit add emotes, and you'll see they all pop up. All of them, including the best emoji, which I'm using myself right now.
Well, I'm a member on Patreon.
Are you not a YouTube channel member?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta check myself here.
I love it. Comment something in the live chat, and we'll see if you have a badge next to your name.
Well, I'm also looking at the I'm looking at StreamYard. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. I'm logged into Jets X Factor. No need.
Maybe Jets X Factor is a channel member. Anyway,
JetX is a channel member.
You might be. I don't know.
Let's check it out.
Big fella with a super chat. This could be a great season. Where does Rodgers found the Millennium Puzzle and will be going full Yamamoto this season? Yamimoto. I'm 99% sure that is a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, big fella. And if so, I want you to know that is absolutely tremendous. I love it, baby.
Yeah. Where was Rodgers? It came out, right?
He was in Egypt.
That's I think everyone had that on their bingo card, right?
That was the suspected rumor, which makes sense why he couldn't move the trip.
The leader in the clubhouse, Rodgers in Egypt.
I love it. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now for the final call for Robbie Sabo is none other than a man with not one Robbie, not two, not three. How many intros do you think Bobby Midnight is up to now since you last joined the show?
37.
How about 9?
Well, you know, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Bobby.
Bobby, you're on mute. For the first time, we can't hear you talk.
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby, unmute your microphone.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bobby.
How you doing, Robbie and Jake?
Hey,
I went on your pal show last night late with Boy Green and Connor. He's an awesome kid. You know, you did the best in hiring him. I have to give you kudos for that. Oh, you want to see somebody here today too?
Oh, is it Mikey?
Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, I've never met Mikey before.
This is my brother, Robbie.
Hey, nice to meet you, Mikey.
Hi, Mikey.
He's going to be down at the game with us on Halloween.
I have your guys' tickets ready to go.
Yes, that will be good. I'm ready to go. And I think that Brendan Allen is a great guy. That's who I like.
He's getting married, Zach Wilson.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yes, he's engaged.
Know that, Zach Wilson.
Are you going to his wedding, Bobby? Do you think Zach Wilson will invite you to his wedding?
No, I don't want to go. I can't believe she's even marrying him.
Why?
That girl's hot,
I don't know. Way back.
Did he just say she's hot?
Yeah, the girlfriend's hot, but I don't know why she's going.
I like good-looking chicks in that family. Wow.
Bobby.
Oh, yeah, baby. Things are about to get crazy here on the Jake Asman Show.
Calm your freaky down.
Sometimes we try, but that freaky just take us over.
Give him some of your loving voice.
Oh, yeah, hide them kids.
Again, leave your damn freaky down.
Too sexy.
you gotta chill, man. Gotta calm the freaky down, man. Come on
do
now.
you like that one? That's what Gator made us.
Call in the National Guard.
So, do you think they're gonna make a good 1-2 punch, Brees Hall and Allen?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think that you guys are gonna have a good running season this year.
Yeah, and Allen, man, he's catching the ball in the backfield this spring, which is really impressive.
He's a good running back. I think you don't have to rely too much on Aaron Rodgers. You know, he doesn't have to throw for like 50 throws a game.
Right. You shouldn't have to. I agree.
Yeah, you don't have to. You could run the ball more often. Those two, and I think what's his name? Wilson's gonna have another good year.
How about a great year?
Great year, yeah.
All pro? Do you smell an all pro season, Bobby?
Yes, I do. Yeah, of course, with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him.
Yeah, he hasn't even made a Pro Bowl yet, has he?
Nope.
No, I don't think so. Well, he's only been in 1 year.
2.
Oh, 2 years. Okay, yeah. He's still young though. He's not old.
Yeah, I mean, hey, offensive rookie of the year, no Pro Bowls,
Yes.
a little interesting, but take the All Pro this year. He'll be off and running.
Yeah. Jake, are you surprised I'm talking Jets?
I am shocked, Bobby. I
know. I got my things to say to Robbie. He's a great guy.
You see what happens when you calm your freaky down? You talk a little football?
And I can't believe I was older than Vman getting gray hair. I was 16. He was 8. So I complain. I can't complain on that. I wouldn't want gray hair at 8.
8?
Oh.
Did you have like a patch? Did you have a patch, or did it just start coming in at 8?
Oh no, 16 definitely studied. Now I don't color my hair anymore.
Wow, that is.
I don't need to. I'm like 56 almost. Who cares?
That is premature gray. I forget what it's called, but that's premature, Bobby.
Yeah, that was at 16.
Hey, Bobby, when's your next show?
After yours, of course.
Yeah, baby. We'll see you there, all right?
Hey,
So
bye
you
now,
use,
guys.
you
Bye,
use
Robbie.
Jake as a lead-in, like Leno did with the 10 o'clock news. I like it.
So you could come on, Robbie, when you have find time, okay?
Okay, a couple of weeks right before. How about this?
Yeah.
Right before camp, we'll do it because
Okay.
I'm still
Yeah.
ironing out a few things.
Right, I understand. You're a busy man.
Yeah, everyone
Yep,
wants me,
man.
Bobby.
You're a man with the plans. Okay, that's good. Okay, we'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great day.
You got it, Bobby.
Later.
You talk to Alan, but you can't talk to me. Oh, thank you. Stop that freaking noise. Stop. Stop farting. Stop with that farts.
What's up, fellas?
Come on. What are you doing?
You're in trouble now, Jake.
Hi, Mr. Bones. How you feeling today? How's the little kids doing?
I can't concentrate. Jake.
Been a pimple on my ass all morning so far.
He's playing extra fart sounds, so we got.
Just a little idea of what goes on behind the scenes of the show.
I can't wait to go on Bobby's show.
That was my show. I was in the green room before the show even started.
Hey, still, Bobby's show is going to be. I'm sending a notification out to all JetX people who have the app. It's going to be glorious.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Robbie, excellent job out of you, man. Way to turn a Tuesday, July 2nd program into must-see content. Excellent job.
Mundane Tuesday in the summer. My goodness. Yeah, folks. JetsXFactor.com, JetX mobile, App Store, Android. You know the thing.
When's the next podcast with Mr. Wayne Corbett?
We've been in hibernation for a little bit. I think we're gonna come back strong next week and ramp up for camp.
Can't wait. I'll be tuned in.
Yes, sir.
Ladies
Appreciate
and
it,
gentlemen,
Jake.
Robbie Sabo. Subscribe to Jets X Factor on YouTube, jetsxfactor.com, the JetX mobile app. You've heard Robbie talk about all of it. We will continue to talk about it on this show. Check it out. Shout out to Robbie for being a part of our show each and every week throughout the off season. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Lauren says, hey, Jake, have you heard any updates on ABT? ABT is going to be ready to go for camp. That is the expectation. Rick says, I missed yesterday's shows. Did Bobby confront O'Leary? Oh, yeah, he did. They went at it. And they were able to come to terms on an appearance for Matt O'Leary in the near future. So I'm looking forward to that. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Tom writes in, Jake, heads up, it's Margot Robbie's birthday. What did you get her? Well, let's just say that her present is in the mail, Tom. And I'll leave it at that. Happy birthday to my girl, Margot. Let's see. Tom says, Robbie turned your freaky up. We don't want that. Bob Sabo with the freaky up.
Calm your freaky down.
I don't know that one. Can't have it. Tim from Fishland, I see you on hold. If you put the camera on, I will go to you next because you're next in line. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim from Fishland is up next now. Hello, Tim.
Sorry, sweating my ass off in TD Finn's backyard. Oh, man, it's downright disrespectful out here today. But yeah, as far as it goes with Keith, man, just, send him over my info. Let him know that he doesn't have to sit there and be swallowed by a bunch of Fish fans. Tim from Fishland will take care of their ass.
I'll be with you, Tim. If you do, I'm doing the group buy with Richie. He got me a ticket, so I'm going to be with. I'm
not doing that. I'm not going to do that group buy because my old man's like 71, and that venue where it's seating, like there's seats, but there's not like assigned seats. Like you have to like fight for a seat. You know what I mean? So my old man's like, no, I'm not doing it, this and that, because that's who I'm going with. So we're probably just going to buy tickets elsewhere.
I'll see you at the tailgate.
All right.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, 10-4. Go back to sweat my ass off.
Good luck, Tim. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
Tim from Fishland, check it in. Let's see. Tom says Robbie puts the XXX in X Factor. Tom.
Calm your freaky down.
Come on, Tom. Snowball writes in, next cause, Connie Carberg and Mark Gaston out of the Hall of Fame. You guys know my thoughts on Connie. I've been saying this for 3 years since we've been doing this show. She should be in the Hall of Fame. Without a doubt. I think she should be in the Jets Ring of Honor too. But certainly the Hall of Fame makes sense. They have a contributor category. Also, I do love the fact that the freaky emoji gets used the way it does. It is pretty funny. I love seeing that in the chat. We're up to 11 members this show. Let me update to see how many we are away from another emoji. We need a big fella emoji. I got to probably ask the great Gator McCluskey to design it. Big fella's face, and then in burnt Tennessee orange that he loves, his college team, TBF, across the chest. But then we'll need another emoji after that to start drumming up ideas. I'm looking forward to it. Infrared says, what if Clemons fills in for JFM's old role? Do you see Clemons workouts last week? Oh, my God. We know he's a physical freak. It's got to translate now on the field. He didn't have a good year last year. I hope he bounces back and plays well, but I don't think you go into this year expecting Michael Clemons to star or have a huge role in this team. Riza Khan, great show during the lean time. Hell yeah. Carly says ace emoji. I don't know, Carly. We already gave you your own emoji. You chicken nugget hound. Live look at Carly after consuming 72 chicken nuggets in 10 minutes at the Times Square location McDonald's. Paul says, can't count on Clemons for anything this year. Anything you get from him, I think, is a bonus. I think he's got to earn a roster spot. Like, I don't think his spot is guaranteed. I really don't. Comments, questions, super chats. Last chance to get in before we wrap today's program. Content schedule over the next couple of days. I don't know if we're doing a show on July 4th or July 5th. Maybe at least one on those days. I doubt we have a show on that Saturday. Sunday, I'm on NFL radio, so there might be only a couple shows over the next handful of days once we get to the holiday. I do, however, have the Best of the Jake Asman Show, episode 3, dropping later this week. So on a day where we don't have a show, you'll get an epic, Gator-edited, Boomtown-produced, 33-minute recap of the best from this past week. So that will definitely give you some laughs during the downtime of the holiday weekend. So looking forward to putting that out there. Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. Also, reminder, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. I announced it this morning. I am a part of a fantasy football league with full-time fantasy and Circa Sports, Circa Resort. All right. And this is for the hardcore fantasy football player. It is not cheap. It is a $349 buy-in to be in this league. We only have about 9 spots left. I gave it first come, first serve to people on Discord first. So if you want in on the league, if you're a hardcore fantasy football player, I'm playing in this league. You have a chance to win massive prizes and compete in Circa's major fantasy football competition that they do. For instance, the prize breakdown is pretty epic. All right. The championship playoffs are week 15 through 17. If you're the Las Vegas fantasy football champion, you can win $50,000. If you win our league, the overall champion gets a $1,300 cash prize. League runner-up is $300. Consolation prizes, $200 cash or free entry into the 2025 Circa Las Vegas Championship, which is at $349 value. So it's a big-time league is what I'm saying. So if you're a hardcore fantasy fan, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Get on the Discord for more information. I want to put that out there. Hardcore league. Dan says, if Clemons surprises everyone and hits the third-year breakout, everyone's in trouble. I mean, that'd be a nice boost, right? The big fella says, I appreciate the emoji idea. Here's an idea. A bed headboard with TBF on it. Just an idea. Whatever you all come up with is cool. Big fella, whatever you want, we will get. You're the big fella. Man spent $300 yesterday on memberships. One of the all-time greats. ISU says, I don't want to see any more Eric Barton bleep at a Clemons and just fall on fumbles too. Yeah, I mean, the penalties last year by Clemons were just insane. Can't have it. Can't allow it. Today's show presented by Huga House. Reminder, they dropped 10 new hats, including the 4 you see on the screen. The hat I'm wearing right now, I believe they just restocked it. So if you want this hat that I'm wearing or any of the hats you see me talk about or wear on the show, go to their website immediately, hugahouse.com. promo code Asman, 15% off. Second hat you buy, 30% off when you use that promo code. So shout out to Hugo House for being part of our show. Gator just wrote, hey, big fella, hit me up in the Discord with ideas and I'll work with you on something. Let's go, Gator. That's why he's Gator McCluskey, folks. Yeah. TLY says, I'll take a free membership for a 46-year-old New York Jets fan whose 50th birthday is tomorrow. Hey, TLY, make sure you, 1, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you can't receive a membership. 2, you turn on gift receipts. And then when someone gives you a membership, the YouTube algorithm assigns it to the people who comment the most, who like the most videos, and obviously who have subscribed to the channel. That's the key. Happy birthday, though, man. 50th birthday. Big time. On the day before we became a country in 1776. How about that? All right, last chance here. Let's see. Jimbo says, Jake, I have to ask, what team besides the team in our division do you hate? Any team that's playing the Jets. I hate them that week. I mean, I'll always have hatred for the Steelers for what they did in the playoffs to the Jets during my time as a fan. Doug Bryan game, championship game in 2010. They've won all the time. I mean, when we play the Giants, I hate them. And it's not even because of their team. I just hate Giants fans. They're so arrogant. Rat Diddy says, where has Charles been? What do you mean, where has he been, Rat Diddy? Charles has been here. All right? Charles has brought it. He's been here. He's been chewing like a monster.
Who was that lovely lady?
That was Carly.
Oh. Anyway.
Yep. Charles, I think we talked about you calling in and chewing on the air again. You couldn't wait till after your call to eat. You talk to me and then you eat.
Anyway,
this is a great angle for you, Charles. Even better angle. Where are you calling us from?
Burger King in Hope Lawn.
What did you get?
A BK Royal Crispy Sandwich with Swiss cheese on it. No tomato. About to finish up my fries. I'm about to have a slice of birthday cake.
Very nice. Charles, I think you should give all your takes from this angle moving forward. I mean, where's Charles been? He's everywhere, baby. He's Charles. Unreal. All right. I think that just about ends it. I want to thank everyone who tuned in live. Thanks to Robbie Sabo, who joined us. We'll have another show in the late afternoon. We added 11 new members today. Appreciate everyone for that. Thanks to everyone who submitted a super chat as well. You guys are truly the greatest for tuning in to Jet content here on July 2nd. Thanks again to the great Keith Best for calling us. I'm so glad he enjoyed all the support we gave him yesterday with the emoji. So thanks to everyone who tuned into the show. Hit the like button on your way out of here. And before we get out of here, in honor of Rat Diddy's return to the show and Rat Diddy asking where Charles is, I simply say, hey, Rat Diddy, you want to know where Charles is? He's everywhere, baby. He's Charles.
There's been a lot of you out there asking about who he be. Well, he's about to let you know.
He's Charles.
This rap is so hot, you'll play it on a loop. You'll never get the recipe for chicken noodle soup. Soup or a spider or even a bat, got nothing on me or Bobby with his hat. Lady's gotta be a 10 if I'm gonna date her. Shout out to my homie, his name is Gator. I'm Charles.
To all you other guys trying to rap on Jake's show, got nothing on this guy and his flow.
He's Charles.
These bars be so hot, I'll get invited on Fallon. You know who won't? That hater, Alan. My comic book and movie takes are so hot and wild. Since my last verse, Johnny had another child. My YouTube is blowing up and I'm becoming a star. My takes are fresh like the clothes on VR. I'm
Jets,
Charles.
Yankees, comics, hip-hop. Nobody compares when it comes to him. He's Charles.
I see everyone on Jake's show trying to prop bars. I'm the only one jumping over cars. Blowski calls the show and he's always really loud. Shout out to Nick, you know he'd be proud. I don't like Zach or his family, they're Mormon. First name Charles, last name Gorman. I'm Charles, motherfucker.
You just witnessed the debut of a proud New York Jet fan and a Jake Asman production. Brought to you by the man, the myth, the legend himself.
I'm Charles.
Is Brock Purdy gonna run for his life on the opener? Fuck you!